games, mate.
Let's
or
go
shows
into
or whatever.
actual games.
Alright, so I already know what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
we already mentioned it in our news. And,
I did.
But let's go on to the actual game itself. So you wanna set us off, man?
Okay, me and my partner have been going through Paper Mario's 1000-Year Door. I have played the game a very long time ago when I was younger, and she has never played it before.
We still got our GameCube copies.
Yep. I still got my GameCube copy as well.
Good times.
Yeah.
So Ben, what's it like? How different is it from the OG?
Oh my god, man.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so like I was worried about the whole 60-30 thing at first because I was like, oh no, it runs at like a lower frame rate and stuff. But in actuality, I will actually say, well, yeah, it would be nice for it to run at 60, but because of the way the graphics are and the lighting and everything, like the lighting is absolutely phenomenal in this game. Like they went to town on the lighting. Like you can walk around the main hub area like Roadport, right? And Mario's like shadow is like on the floor, and you can see like the reflection of him like in the puddles and stuff. And it's
cool.
It's really like the lighting's incredible.
They do little graphical extras there.
Yeah, there's
I heard they gave more animations to some sprites as well.
There are so many new animations, but like because I haven't played it in such a long time, it almost feels like that was always there, sort of thing. Like it's like, is that always there or not? Like there are like loads of new animations, even like the side the side NPCs you talk to do like new animations and stuff. Like they went to town, like every single NPC has like some new animation to it.
That's awesome.
There's so many. Mario, like when Hooktail flies over, Mario like looks up at the sky. There's a bit you know the bit at the beginning when you meet Gumbella.
And there's a certain something in the middle of the square.
The noose and everything. And you know, like when you're talking to her and she's telling you about the town and everything, and then you watch in the background a hit play out. You know, like
I remember that in the original. Someone gets marked literally in broad daylight.
When she says that, they turn around, watch the hit, and then turn back, and it's just like
that's great. They made it even worse because they saw it and chose to do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They watch it and then they're like, oh, this town.
They're keeping all the suspiciously mature stuff in the Mario game. That's great.
They've still got the like old pin. What are they called? The sunshine race.
The piñatas.
Yeah,
pina coladas.
Yeah. Doing the mob boss and everything, and I don't know if you remember like the whole
Tony Soprano still in the game. That's great.
Yeah. They still got all that. They've got all like the mature stuff in there still. Some of it's like more funny with like the new facial expressions and stuff. The music has had an incredible uplift. In fact, there's like new songs. Gumbella has her own like theme song now as well.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, because she never had a song. It's actually a really good song as well. You can listen to it on YouTube.
I was streaming Yakuza 4, and people were telling me that there is a battle theme that's unique to each world that you go to. Is this true?
Yes. So
cool. That's great.
The original,
it's not just a visual battle theme.
Yeah, no, they change it for every single place you're in. So Hooktail's castle, it's different. The woods, it changes. It's like it constantly gets changed. Also, incredible. The dynamic music in this, right, is not just the battle theme, but like the music is so dynamic. They're like, if you are thinking, right, you know, like when you're doing a move or like you're picking your moves and stuff, if you leave it on and you're taking a long time, the music will quieten down and have a quiet version of the song, and then it picks back up.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's really clever. A lot of it is so much charm.
It's got an AFK version.
Yeah, it's got a literal like quiet version. It takes a while to notice it, but like once you like realize, oh, that's really clever. And there's like every single area's got like its own theme, all the themes. And if you don't like any of the new music, you can always swap back to the GameCube music if you want. There's like a badge that lets you
that's good.
Swap back to GameCube
that's great.
music.
That's good.
Have that
Yeah, that's cool, because that way purists can have their original soundtrack from the old days as well, which is nice to have.
But I don't know why you would, to be honest, because, I mean, there are some songs that are better in the GameCube version. Like, I feel like, well...
It's subjective, right? It's music.
Yeah, it's subjective, but there are, like, I would say, for me, because we are on, I'll say where I'm up to. I'm up to chapter 3 with my, we were up to chapter 3.
Nice.
We just finished
chapter 3,
so we just finished. Yeah, she's loving it. Yeah, she's really enjoying it.
It's really good for grown-ups. Definitely one of those sorts of games.
But yeah, she really likes the battle system as well, because it's like very it's on a stage, and like it's not too complicated, but there's still like a lot of stuff to it.
Have they changed things about the battle system?
They've checked. Okay, so I think one of the coolest things about the new version is I don't know if this is a change or not, but I think it is, because I don't remember this happening as much in the original. When a character did enemies used to hold items?
I think they did.
Right, they did.
Think they did.
Did they used to hold badges?
Don't know about badges, no.
Because they hold badges, right? Sometimes you get a battle with an enemy and it's holding a badge. You can't get that badge or whatever. You can't grab the badge, but when they're holding the badge, the enemy has that badge effect. So, for example, if an enemy's got that badge where it's like, sometimes you'll miss, like, that applies to the enemy as well.
Oh, so they carry certain passives now thanks to the badges.
Yeah, I don't know if that was in the original, because I don't remember that.
That definitely wasn't in the original. I knew I think they held items, but definitely not badges. No, that would have been...
Oh, and the items they held... The items they hold, they definitely use them a lot more than they used to, because I don't remember getting hit by so many fire flowers in the original.
Oh Christ!
Yeah, they hold items a lot. They use the items they hold a lot more.
Fuck.
So that's pretty cool. Like the game's still not like super hard or anything. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still not a hard
you can still put all your level ups into FP and badge points and ignore health and steamroll the game.
Oh
right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it's still such a fun game. Like the bosses are still super fun. There's no like, I don't think. I don't know yet, but I hear there is like new content in terms of like there might be like an extra, there's like a post-game boss or something.
Yeah, I've heard there's new stuff.
Yeah, there's a little bit of new there, but like the whole makeover of the game is just so good. Like you have to see it yourself. Like the videos don't do it justice. You have to actually see it running, because when you see it in videos, it looks a bit choppy, because it's obviously
that's everything, isn't it?
On YouTube. When it's 30 frames per second and stuff, I have to say it is a very, very like smooth 30. It is not a like jagged 30. There's been like very, 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 and I mean minuscule slowdown. So
I reckon the art style helps with that, right? Because it's all 2D.
Yeah, because it's all like paper and everything. I will say again, and I will say like the 30 frames actually helps with the aesthetic in some ways, because it's the animation style, you know, like the whole paper aesthetic. They're paper, so they move around like that. I definitely think that does actually help with the 30 frames. I don't know if it would work as well on the 60 with the new art style that they have and everything, but maybe it would. But who knows? Maybe the Switch 2 can run it at 60. But for now, I'd say like the only thing I don't like about the 30 is there's a, you know, when you get the ground pound, there's a ground pound move you get, right?
Yeah.
Because it's 30 and not 60. It's kind of harder to pull that one off, because you have to be like AA like really quick, because there's not
character action game mechanic is put into it, and the frames are important.
Yeah, because some of the moves are more harder to pull off if you're used to like the 60. But because I haven't played the game in such a long time, it's not really too much of a big deal for me. I say they have thought about the timings more. There's a bit more of a generous window for the dodging, because it's at 30, I think. So they thought about that. The window used to be a bit more smaller. It's a little bit bigger now.
I remember it being really strict in OG 1000 Year Door.
Yeah, it's not as strict anymore.
Because they also had not only the guard, but they had the counter as well.
Yeah, the special one, which is still actually quite hard to pull off in the in this.
It's got to be exact on that one.
Yeah, you got to be really exact on that, but the normal guard is, like, it's not as difficult to pull off anymore. Yeah. Stylish moves are still easy to do as well, so they've kept all that. I also, because it's obviously better graphics and everything, and as you level up, you get a better stage, and stage hazards become more of a thing now. I don't know, they do definitely focus more sometimes on stage hazards more. I've noticed more stage hazards in this than I remember being in the original. Like, it happens a bit more, like, or maybe I just forgot, but people throw stuff at you from the audience that you have to, like, look out for. That did in the original. That feels like that happens a lot more now. Sometimes a member of the stage will come up onto the stage and, like, pull a lever. There's also, like, a camera angle for it now. You watch, like, a crazy fan, like, jump up onto the stage, or a shy guy, and he pulls, you see the lever being pulled, and you're like, oh wait, have I got to dodge this, or is the enemy got to dodge this? Like,
or it still screws you over.
Yeah.
That's cool. It sounds like they've made a lot of things in this game a little bit more challenging as well, with the fact that enemies can hold badges and the audience screws you over more often than usual.
Yeah, it happens. It seems to be happening like more often than I ever remember. I don't even remember the enemies holding badges, so I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember badge effects applying to enemies, so I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely feels like something that they've added. But yeah, overall, like, with 3 chapters in, it's the same game, but, like, you know, way more prettier, and you know, that charm has lasted throughout the years. The script is still incredibly funny. Like, as soon as you arrive at Rogueport, like, there's that first Toad you talk to, and he's like, oh, what are you doing here, like, looking for some chick? And you're like, a Toad saying chick, you know? That is so weird. Like,
hey, man.
Yeah. Like, it's like, the dialogue just does, it still holds up incredibly well. I don't know if there's, like, been, there has been, like, obviously some changes, alterations,
as we know. Yeah.
Like, I think Bowser says lunkhead now rather than I can't remember what he used to say, but it was, like, obviously a more, it's like dumbhead. I can't remember.
But, you just said the R word or anything.
No, I'm sure it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad. No, there's, like, a few little, like, changes here and there, but they're minor. Like, it's still the same message and the same, like, like, crazy.
It wasn't like it was like Diamond is not Crash locals of, like, localization.
Nah. It's not. It's really not even been, like, toned down. I wouldn't even say it's been, like, toned down. It's just used a different word. And it's like, oh, still the same meaning, just a different word. Like,
oh, cool, man. Yeah, glad you're enjoying the game, and I'm glad it seems to be a pretty decent remaster.
It is definitely a very good remaster. I mean, I mean, if you haven't played it in a long time, I'd highly recommend the game, because it's phenomenal. It's still a phenomenal time. It's still, it holds up 20 years later, I have to say. It still holds up incredibly well. It feels modern. That is the best compliment I can give it. Like, it was ahead of its time. That game was ahead of its time, and it's now, like, it feels modern. So it's like, oh wow. So this makes me really excited for where Paper Mario goes next. You know,
a healthy transition. You'll love to see it.
I really, really hope the next Paper Mario, like, draws from Thousand Year Door in some way again.
I mean, they know it's hot shit, otherwise they wouldn't have remastered this one of all games, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Bring on Super Paper Mario, because that game is also amazing. I don't care what the fuck the fan base thinks.
Oh, no, I would like to see that return. That was
my favourite story and everything.
Oh, yeah, that was an amazing story as well, yeah. That was wild. I hope they remaster Super Paper Mario as well, actually. That would be actually really good.
I'd be down for that,
yeah.
So,
yeah, good times. Good times with Paper Mario. Dynamic music's amazing. You love dynamic music. There's a whole bunch of dynamic music.
Can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go. I'm interested.
So, that was Paper Mario. The other little game I've been playing, which I don't know is an indie little game, it's called Animal Well.
Oh yeah, this is the donkey game, isn't it?
Well, he published it. He didn't make it.
He published it.
The one guy made it, and it took him 7 years to create it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I can't remember. Oh, what's the guy's name?
Alright, it's fucking amazing. It's like getting 10 out of 10s across the board.
Animal Well is a really, really good. Billy Bezos, that was the developer. He's the guy who created it. Animal Well is a fantastic Metroidvania. Like, I have to say, I've not finished it. I've explored like quite a large majority of it. But I just keep finding stuff all the time. It's like the amount of things you keep finding, like all these little secrets. There's so many secrets. It's packed full of secrets. Every room has a secret in it that you wouldn't notice, like going through like the first time or whatever, until you've discovered something or seen something, and then you can go back and be like, aha, like sort of thing. Because there's no combat. There's absolutely no combat in this game. It is completely puzzle based, but you still get upgrades in terms of like how you solve things. You get like little items and they're really unique. They're not your typical Metroidvania the boost jump or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not. So
it's very traversal based.
It's very traversal based. It's absolutely
looks really fucking pretty too. The pixel looks amazing.
Oh mate,
we're lying
so
and stuff in the shadows.
The atmosphere in this game is incredible. Like it's constantly, it's really, I don't know how to put it. It's dark and gloomy, but it's such good atmosphere. Like it's very pretty. It's like it feels otherworldly, I guess is the way I could describe it. It's like really like traversing like this weird otherworldly like kind of. In some ways, it reminds me of playing like Metroid, like in some ways, because it's like the first one wasn't as combat heavy, but it feels like. I mean, the best way to describe it is it made me love the Metroidvania all over again. Like, it's so fun. Like when you get a new ability, you're like, oh, what can this do? And it's all about like self-discovery. There are no tutorials. There's absolutely no tutorials. The game cleverly teaches you things.
Oh, nice.
Without you even like realizing it's teaching you stuff.
Oh, they're the best kind of tutorials. Yeah.
It's so clever the way it works. And then once you figure like something clocks on, you're just like, aha! And you go back and you're like, you have that genius moment. You're like, this has been here this whole time and I never even realized.
Yeah. That's great. That's really cool. Yeah. It's always great when a game comes out and not only does it look really pretty and the art is immaculate, the pixel art in this game looks incredible from what I've seen. They also know how to make a game as well.
I mean, it took him 7 years to create this place.
From what I've seen, it definitely shows.
Yeah, like
and that's a very big compliment. It's great.
Every room is like got a secret in it. I swear. I don't know how. I don't even think I've even scratched like half the surface of it, and I'm probably like halfway through, but I don't even think I'm halfway through on getting everything. But like there's just a lot of like secrets and things, and it's a puzzle box, man. That is literally the best way to describe it. It's like this giant puzzle box that you have to keep on peeling back the layers of, and then you're like, oh man, like how deep does this thing go?
Yeah, so does it do things? I imagine it rewards like, you know, being creative.
Oh yeah, it constantly rewards you for thinking like you know, a best way of example is it if something looks like it might be a secret, chances are it possibly is. If something looks a little bit off in the walls or something, you're like, that might be something, or it could just be nothing, but you're like, no, chances are that's probably something for later or something. You're like, oh cool. Yeah, but you like every single thing in the game is because it's using. I like it because it uses the Metroidvania language, but in a really different way. Like because there's no combat, everything you get is just purely to solve puzzles, but you don't know how to. Everything has a different use. It has multiple uses. Like all the items you get, I could give you like one example, right? This is an early example. You get a frisbee, right? And you're like, oh, what can you do with a frisbee? You can chuck it, and then you can break stuff with that frisbee. But like, this is like a slight little spoiler that you might not even realize you can do it. But you can jump on the frisbee yourself when it's coming back, and then parasail yourself across. Yeah. It's like, I didn't even know that thing could do that, and I've been playing with that frisbee for like fucking ages. Like,
that's always a great thing in a video game.
Like, everything has multiple uses, and you need to work out how they all work. Like, so it's kind of cool in that regard.
That's great. That's cool.
And it's all self-discovery. I don't want to spoil too much because it's like all self-discovery. The whole thing is like, don't watch any like, you know, like reviews and stuff because they can probably spoil like a self-use or something. It's better to just like discover it all for yourself.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah.
So there really are animals in the world.
Oh yeah. No, the animals are the biggest part of it. Just because there's no combat. They are like threats. You're constantly scared of the animals because sometimes the animals are like not going to be friendly, and you die a lot because obviously it's how you deal with the animals. Like, that's just basically why it's called Animal World, because there's like constantly animals and you have to deal with the animals in certain ways, and so it's like, it's good. Everything's a threat is my advice in this thing. It might not be a threat, but everything's a threat because you're constantly on the run because you can't attack. So you're constantly under threat. Yeah, you're basically under threat all the time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's cool, bro. I kind of like that. Like, you can't kill the enemies. You've actually got to like think and use your brain to get around them all. Yeah.
Use all of your like tools and puzzles and innovative ways to actually get around the problem and stuff. Yeah. That's cool. Sounds like very innovative and fun problem solving in a fun, really, really beautiful looking pixel-like format. Yeah, it is, honestly. Apparently it's really... How big is the game?
So it depends. If you're going for everything, I imagine you could be spending hours in it, but
I mean, like... storage-wise, like how much memory?
Game's not even that big. It's like 158 megabytes.
Oh my fucking Christ.
Yeah. Game's not even that big, but it's big in terms of, like, map. Map's pretty big.
Takes up less storage from a single asset in Call of Duty.
Yeah. It's like 150 megs, yeah. That's
crazy, man. I think you can do with that many megs. Jesus, literally, like... Yeah, that's crazy. That's great.
I don't know how they managed to pull that off, but it's got a lot of content in it.
Sounds really captivating.
It is, honestly.
Yeah, good job to Billy Basso. It's great that it shows that the years of time that it's taken to make the game has shown.
Yeah, man.
You'd love to see it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, definitely check it out when you can because it's I'm still playing through it myself.
It's on my wish list on Steam, so absolutely I want to check it out at one point. Yeah, definitely. That's great, really man. That's awesome. I've been playing indie game, a very well-known indie game actually. It's in early access.
Ooh, here we go. I know what you've
been playing. Early access of Hades 2, and thanks to my recent gaming and time with Slay the Spire, not only have I been getting into like car games, but also like the roguelikes too. I kind of got that itch, and I was like, oh, do you remember Hades? Remember when it first came out? And the whole Discord server was buzzing about it. Like, there wasn't a single user on our Discord who wasn't playing Hades, to the point where we would actually host races in that game to see who could actually complete a run the quickest out of some users playing right at the moment. And I'm happy to say that Hades 2 is pretty much the same, but it feels like a proper sequel. Because it's got loads of stuff packed into it. So, I've played about 20 hours of it. I have not beaten the final boss. In fact, I'm not even close to beating the final boss at the moment.
Oh, man.
I got to the second phase of it, and I got squashed immediately.
Oh, dude.
But that urge should just keep on going and do another run that will last like thousands of hours. You know that feeling when you get a bad one, you're like, nah, let's do just the quote is just one more run.
Yeah.
And it still heavily applies to the sequel because you are constantly getting rewarded in Hades 2. So the big difference is I found is definitely in the gameplay. So you're not playing as Zaggy anymore. You're not playing as Zagreus. You're playing as Melinoe. And I think in Greek mythology, she was one of the keepers of the underworld, I think. So it works that she is. You're playing again as a child of Hades, just like Zagreus.
Yeah. Cool.
And once again, you got your squares for your light. You got your squares for your light attacks. You've got your triangles for your heavy attacks. But the weapons are vastly different from they were in Hades 1. So like. You start off with a staff. That's like your primary, like sort of like starting weapon. Like it was a sword in Hades 1.
Yeah.
But in this game, you've got a thing called casts. Yeah. And you had casts in OG Hades too.
Yeah, you did have casts in OG Hades.
You would you shoot a projectile. Well, this time it's not a projectile that changes properties based on what moves you get. It's a magic circle.
Okay, interesting.
And I'll tell you this: the enemies in this game are super aggressive. If you thought they were really violent in the first game, they are far more aggressive in Hades 2.
Okay.
And it's by design. Yeah. Because it's to get you used to the magic circle, which is like a ward. And what it does is that when enemies are in the circle, it stops them.
Okay.
So you're using up mana.
Yeah.
And mana is a thing now, which slowly regenerates based on like what passive upgrades you've got. And when you get boons, these change. So for example, Aphrodite's it sucks people in. Yeah. And it explodes. There's one there's an Apollo one which makes the circle regenerate your mana really fast when you're in the circle yourself. Zeus's one is when lightning obviously strikes a magic circle, so it does more damage to people caught in it. Nice. But not only that, there's also it's funny because there's loads more new stuff added, and I'm actually struggling to know where to begin.
Yeah,
which is only a good thing.
You can't list it all, but like,
because that's the thing, I can't list it because there's loads of new stuff. There's now a lunar special attack you can get,
sick.
Which each run you can change it. Like you get these moon powers, and they can either freeze time / slow down time.
Sick.
You can use it as a big giant fuck off laser, or you can use it as an install, which turns you into a super mode for 5 seconds. And as you go up the run, you're not going up like with Hades 1, you're going down this time. You're actually going from the surface, or close to the surface, to the underworld.
That makes
because
sense,
the plot is, I don't want to spoil too much, but basically you're going downwards to the underworld and stealth. And obviously, from the first trailer, you're there to kill Kronos, who is the Titan of time.
Yeah.
And time is a very, very big theme of Hades 2.
Yeah.
And a lot of the gameplay does factor into that. And it's like one, you go down, you do a run, something fucks you up, you die. However, you take materials from that run into your hub, which is now materials.
That was
you can now
materials.
So you've now got. So you remember in Hades 1 where you can customize the House of Hades?
Yeah.
And get different stuff and stuff that can help you. You can get rooms that spawn which just heal you up. Same goes for this. However, you can now do plants. You can now do crops and stuff. It's now a pseudo farming simulator. Yeah, it's got farming elements now, but they're very minor though. It's not like Stardew Valley levels of farming.
Is it near levels of farming?
Yeah, I mean they're farming elements, man.
Yeah.
It's like you play a game and it's got Souls elements. It's that sort of thing, but it's not a Souls game. That kind of thing.
You're not building a town or anything.
but you can get plants and materials because you basically work for you do witchcraft. You practice witchcraft in this game.
Alright, yeah.
And the tone is dark and murkier, because witchcraft is that kind of like thing in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Your teacher is Hecate, who you may know from mythology. She's a really cool witch. She's got a massive ab window going on because it's a Hades game and everyone has got to be amazingly sexy in these games.
Yeah, well they are.
And
gods.
Hades 2 is no exception there.
They are gods.
And yeah, no, after each run you get materials and you can put them in a cauldron, and with this cauldron you can upgrade like stuff that in the actual hub that you're in. Cool. You get access to that milestone thing where if you use a bunch of weapons you get materials for that. You got the shop there as well. That's where cool. You can spend stuff and you can also give nectar to certain characters.
Oh yeah, the nectar giving dating sim element. Yeah.
That's got to be a thing. That's a mainstay.
Still a thing. Yeah, cool.
So you can get accessories that can help you on your runs. Like you can get Death Defilement from Death Defiance from other characters that you use to give certain nectars to. And yeah, it just feels like Hades 1, but with a lot more stuff in it. And once again, it's another sort of like thing that really has like, if you say if it ain't broke, you don't need to break it kind of thing.
Just improve it.
It's a winning formula, and they've improved it loads. And the weapons are really cool, unique as well. I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to spoil things, because again, this is early access. I know some people also wait for the full game to come up before they even try it.
I'm absolutely going to wait for the full one. Because
enemies are more aggressive, and you've got to work around that with the wards.
Yeah.
The boons are a lot more unique than they were, because you got new gods involved now.
Yeah.
It's not just your Dionysuses and your and there are some returning gods as well, but there are new ones as well that have new properties, which means a lot more variety in builds that go up there.
Because some of the gods were missing from the first Hades.
Yeah. You know how in Hades 1 you had like really different weapon movesets, like you could go from you had a gun, and then you had arrows. It's like, well, this is just a ranged different weapon, but they actually worked really differently. Like the gun had a reload system, and the arrows had like you can hold down the button and you can like aim and stuff like that. It feels like they've done it, but more.
I can't believe this is in
with the weapons in this game.
It sounds like you're describing like a full game.
It feels like it's a full game in gameplay. Absolutely. In story, I've heard that if you actually do if you complete a run, you don't get any more story after that. At least I think that's what I've been told.
Wait, so you don't get story after you beat the game?
There is story. The characters are talking to you, and there's loads of dialogue, and I think there's the exact same amount of dialogue that there was in the first game as well. But they're just waiting for like the big story beats for when the game actually comes out.
So there's probably going to be more added.
You can tell because in early access there are characters who are literally in like a quote-unquote beta form. Where like a sprite will literally be like you see like the outlines of a character, just a bunch of scribbles, and it's not complete yet.
Oh, that's hilarious though.
And there's also a default character sprite for the characters who have not had character designs yet, but the characters are in the game. If that makes any sense? So you talk to a character and they've got like a default big rag deathbed companion sort of like sprite going on. And a lot of characters who have not had like sprites done for them yet have got it. Which is really funny because Karen the Boatman returns. He's got that sprite, and I'm just thinking, how come he didn't just use like the old sprite from the first game for that?
Just placeholder or something.
Which means that they're obviously planning like a rizzed up sprite for him, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So all this talk is making me want to go back and play Hades 1 again, because I never actually finished it, like finished it, you know.
Oh, you never actually completed a run?
I never finished a run of it.
Dude, being a run in that game is like 10% completion of that game.
Yeah, I know.
Because after that, you gotta keep on doing it, but you've got to do it based on more limits and handicaps that you put on yourself. And that advances the story, because there's loads more story. When you've just done the first run in the first game.
I know.
And there's already so much story and dialogue in Hades 2. The music is fucking phenomenal. There is a boss, which we were talking about dynamic music with Paper Mario, but there is a boss that, without spoiling too much, depending on so there's a mob boss, and depending on what one you beat first, the music changes according to what one you have beaten. It's really fucking cool.
Oh no, that's really cool.
And it's really hard for me not to gush over certain elements of the game. Do you know what? It's really hard to talk about this game because I don't want to spoil too much about it. Because there's so much more new stuff, and it's like, oh, I could talk about the weapons, but I don't want to spoil what they are. And
I mean,
I can just talk about elements and stuff.
Do you reckon it'll be out of early access like next year? Like it'll probably be.
The devs have said that they aim for the full release to be in 2025.
Okay.
Which is kind of insane to me because it feels like the game is already like 70% complete.
Yeah.
Which is great because they're doing that thing they did with the first game when they put that in early access and they're taking feedback in and they're saying, okay, we can do this, and that's great. And like,
I can't wait to play
like with Animal World, it's great that these devs are like actually taking their time.
Yeah.
And they're gonna bring out a product.
One guy, yeah.
And Animal World was just one guy. It took him 7 fucking years, and it's a fucking phenomenal masterpiece from what I've heard from other people.
Honestly, from a Metroidvania perspective, Animal World.
Yeah,
really,
it's
really good.
It's really funny. It's hard for me to review Hades 2 in a good way because I can't talk about it in a good way. Because again, this is early access. But all I can say is for people who, if this game is on your radar, you're in for a good time when the full game comes out.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, I got to finish one though. I already feel
like hopping on it again just to see if I can beat the run. It's that kind of game again where it's like one more run because you're constantly getting rewarded, but you're constantly given more rewards and there are more weapons with arguably more diverse movesets than there were in Hades 1. And there's loads of more passives you can use. I feel like there is so much more of an opportunity to build a more varied build in Hades 2 than there is in Hades 1.
Oh, interesting.
And this is early access.
Yeah, man,
and I'm still unlocking new stuff.
For the full release. I want to ask though, you know, like the voice acting. The voice acting was so good in Hades 1.
It's still top notch in this game.
Is it still in there? Like, has they finished all the voice acting then?
Yeah, voice acting's still there, man. They got actors doing their thing.
What? It's all finished. Like the voice acting's done as well.
It's not all finished, but there's a bunch of it still in this game.
Wow. Okay. That's
in fact, more so.
They've actually put all the voice acting in as well.
The devs have said that there's more content in early access Hades 2 than there is completed build of Hades 1, and I believe them.
Mad.
I definitely believe them. Yeah. It feels like a game, and at this point, it feels like that the completed version of this game when it comes out is going to be like extended DLC.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's already a game that you can play and have fun with, and it's worth the price in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what other stuff they add, and I can't wait to see all the new art, and I can't wait to see where they go through with the story, because the story is very intriguing as well, because all the other characters, there's only like a few characters from the first game that are around a lot in this game. The new characters are really good in this game as well. There is once again there is. So I'm gonna say it now. There is a girl version of Thanatos.
Oh my god.
And I mean that in like every aspect. And I mean every aspect. Let that sink in. I mean every aspect. Every aspect.
Oh damn.
And it's like, I see the character and I'm like, oh yeah, you're absolutely the Thanatos of this game. I mean, look at you. Design-wise, personality-wise.
Oh,
what people are definitely, absolutely gonna be talking about you on social media. Yeah. You're one of them.
Giant games are cooking still then.
Yeah, they're still cooking.
It is them, isn't it? Super Giant Games?
Super Giant Games.
Yeah, well,
if you're a fan of the first game, you're gonna love Hades 2.
I guess they're definitely living up to their name now by how much content there is in Hades.
Yep. There's, you're gonna be excited going for the runs and beating a boss that was beating your ass for the longest time. You're gonna get to a bit where you felt like you had a good build, but actually, oh no, you weren't prepared for this like sudden thing to emerge, and now you've lost like 3/4 of your health out of nowhere all of a sudden. It's. I would say that this game, gameplay-wise, is a lot more harsh when it comes to making mistakes.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, you're gonna fucking feed it really bad in this game.
Oh man.
But I like it though, because it's not just like, it's not exactly the same as 1. There is but the gameplay is different. The fact that you've got to work around wards and how the weapon system works differently to Hades 2.
That's good though.
It's a different, it's a different learning curve from the first game. You're not just like, you can't. So my very first run in Hades 2, when you first start the game. And you're like, Death to Kronos, gonna go downstairs and beat his ass, and you go like, no, I'd win, like I played Hades 1 a bunch, I can easily do it.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to the first boss.
Oh man.
I got fucking wrecked immediately.
Yeah, strong learning.
Super hard. Fourth way down, I got humbled immediately in Hades 2.
Man.
and I kept on getting humbled, and it's like, damn, the learning curve is completely different, and I like that. That's good.
Yeah. Oh man, sounds like a good time. Sounds like a really good time.
Yeah, man, it's been a good definition of a sequel.
To pick up the early access, but I think I'll wait.
By all means, man. Yeah, this is the reason why I'm not saying everything. Even though I could easily gush about everything, but I'm holding myself. Guys, I'm holding myself back.
Oh man. Well,
Ben.
I feel like that's everything from my side.
There's also another game that I've jumped back onto, actually, in my own time. Ben, how far are you in Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh mate, I think I've done the second dungeon. I've put it down. I've sadly put it down for a while.
You are sadly one of many people, myself included, who is in limbo with Tears of the Kingdom for a little bit.
I have been for a while actually. I really should get back on it.
So when I saw my girlfriend, she's a pretty big Zelda buff, and she's beat that game 100%.
Yeah,
she's got all the shrines, she's got all the costumes, she's got done all the side quests and everything. She came when I saw her. We played a little bit Tears of the Kingdom. She wanted to see how I was doing.
I did enjoy it, but I don't know.
I felt the rust, and obviously I put it down for a bit as well.
Yeah.
But I beat it yesterday.
Oh my god, you beat it! Holy shit!
I think this might be the best final battle of all Zeldas.
Oh shit! I still don't know what the final. I mean, I imagine it's really good. Like, is it better than the first Breath of the Wild final battle?
Oh, leagues! Yeah,
because I didn't think that was that great.
Wasn't that good, admittedly, in Breath of the Wild. The final battle wasn't that great. Whereas this one has got epic scenes, very memorable set pieces. The final boss is a little bit of a challenge as well, which is really cool. It does a little bit of cool things in the interface as well, which is pretty wicked. And the final like victory lap, quote unquote, is like, it's really cool.
Oh man,
it's very epic.
I do need to get back to it. I do need to finish it. I'm like halfway through it. I just haven't picked it back up again. I think I got a bit burnt out by going like underground constantly.
Honestly, like we discussed this with episode of Rebirth, but this feels like a game where it's like, okay, Nintendo, we get it. We know how big you can make your games.
Yeah.
Because this game is humongous, and I've not done everything in this game. Yeah. I got like, for those who have beaten Tears of the Kingdom, I've got 24 out of 40 hearts, and I was like, that's it. I'm like, no more exploration, no more shrines. I kind of want to beat the story, see what happens, save Hyrule, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I play too much more of this game, I'm gonna get burned out on it.
Yeah.
Admittedly.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild was already massive.
Yeah,
I will say I will say I think I prefer Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild. I feel like it's made a lot of improvements there. Because I'm not a big Zelda buff at all. Heck, I think Twilight Princess is the best Zelda game.
I love Twilight Princess.
There's a massive vocal not even a minority, there's a vocal majority, I think, that would very, very heavily disagree with me.
Yeah, they'd probably say like.
But I think Twilight Princess is the best. Yeah, I mean everyone's got their preference, but Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda.
Wind Waker
and
mine, but
and I actually love that. I think the Ultra Hand is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's pushed the series to a new level of dungeon crawling and puzzle solving. The dungeons in this game are really good, by the way. I really enjoyed them. At first you think, oh no, the Water Temple, oh, it's gonna be shit. That happened to be my favorite dungeon in the game.
I think.
And there's a minecart. What I love about the Ultra Hand is that it lets you skip things. It lets you do things how you want. I love the freedom that it gives you. And you can argue.
Like that, though,
some people don't like that. They want the streamlined Zelda experience, and that's fine. Everyone's got a preference, and Zelda has been, for the most part, very streamlined with its dungeons and stuff.
I find it funny
it's followed a formula.
You're talking about this game now. Can I tell you why? Because Zelda just celebrated. This game just celebrated its first year anniversary.
I can't believe this game's been out for a year.
Yeah, it's been out a year.
It still feels new to me. It's so strange. But I'm glad I got back onto it because I had a pretty fun time with it.
Yeah.
I explored the absolute dick out the depths. And the exploration of the depths is so addictive to me. Like, I can just... admittedly, I whipped on a podcast and listen to essays while exploring the depths.
Yeah.
But I found myself doing that for like 7 hours, and I thought, oh my god, I need to get back to editing. I need to fucking, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, during my breaks, like an hour break turned into like a 5-hour break exploring the depths. Exploration in this game is really good. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot more things in the open world than there was in Breath of the Wild. Admittedly, it's not like as empty as it was.
No,
I found
it's not.
you always find something, and there's always something to do, and there's always a side quest to do, and you're constantly busy. It does sometimes get a bit overwhelming at times, to the point where I was like, okay, this is too much. I'm gonna beat the game now.
Yeah.
But I think the set pieces are great.
I didn't like rescuing the Koroks though.
I ignored them after a while. I need to see my friend. I was like, no, I'm just gonna ultra hand you to the side.
Yeah, you can just lift him up.
I go save the princess.
Yeah.
And obviously, with the ultra hand, there's great cool things you can do with it. You can create horrible monstrosities. You can torture Koroks. You can literally just skip the game with like a rocket if you want to.
Oh no.
I myself abused the triple spring.
Yeah.
To the point there was this one dungeon which involved mine carts. I just skipped it all springs. I was like, I can't be fucked with. Admittedly, I did try out the carts for a little bit, but then I was like, nah, let's spring it. And I like that about the game. The game lets you. It lets you choose.
It lets you pull it off. Yeah. Which is very, in some ways, it's very clever game design in the sense of like, you can do this. Like, if you are capable of thinking about it, you could do that. You can solve anything anyway if you really want to, which is like, in some ways it's cool, in some ways it's like, oh, but then it's like, what was the intended puzzle way, you know, like...
I don't think this game feels like that, there's like an easy, quote-unquote, intended, quote-unquote, solution to it. But at the end of the day, you can just solve it how you want. I completely blacked my way through so many shrines.
Yeah.
I would... Like, there were times where I would complete a shrine and be like, that definitely wasn't the intended way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, there was one shrine where it's like, you need to light a fire and use the air to spin this thing. And it's like, I would literally just like move it slightly with Ultra Hand. And then use the ability that lets you shoot through ceilings. And through trial and error and just moving it ever so slightly. It was like, come on, let the light above me turn blue for a split second. Did it. Went up there, then just paraglided and got to the shrine and did it in like a minute. I was like, ha, fuck you, puzzle. Like, that happens so many times. But it feels like the game allows you to do that. It wants you to do that. And that's the whole point of Ultra Hand. And I love it. I love that it gives you that freedom.
Unique idea.
It's bar none my favorite part of the game. I think Ultra Hand is a truly unique and innovative like mechanic. And it's funny because you got game devs like who are trying to sort of like work their way around with like physics.
Yeah. And
Ultra Hand just lets you just fuck around. It feels like you're fucking playing Maya.
Yeah.
With Ultra Hand sometimes. It feels like you're playing a 3D program.
Yeah,
like,
you're not actually playing. Yeah, it feels like
you're modeling.
Yeah, you're actually making. You're not actually playing the game. Yeah,
letting the player make the game at times.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah, and like
some people like it, some don't. I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, they honestly they're valid. They're valid in not liking it. If you're a Zelda purist and you don't like the direction that it went and there's too much open world, like, oh, we got another sequel to Breath of the Wild, that's fine. However, I do not agree with people who say that this is a glorified DLC.
Oh, I don't think it's glorified DLC.
No way.
I don't agree with that either.
It's bigger, it's better. There are enough changes that warrant it to feel like a different sequel.
Oh no, I don't think it was glorified DLC. I just think it's like,
you got the depths,
that's what a sequel is. Yeah.
Admittedly, the Sky Islands, I feel like could have had a bit more done to them because they're just like little puny islands that float about and they've got like shrines in it.
There's not really anything on them, is there?
Because they were really promoted far more than the depths, which is the true like new kind of like place to explore. Yeah, I like combat is okay to me. Yeah, like it's all right. But I do think that the fusion system definitely, once again, like fusion as well is another way to combat, to combat, yeah. in a different, unique way you can do it. Because you can like attach a flamethrower to a shield. You can spring over people.
Oh
yeah, you can bounce people off you.
Shield, yeah.
Yeah, you can put like you can get like a sword that gusts wind, but if you put like an electric tail on it, you can make it gust electricity.
I didn't know you could do that. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you fucking go.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do in that game that is very, very creative. People are going to be discovering shit from that game for years to come, I feel like.
I think the story is kind of like cleverly implemented as well. There's a lot of like cool twists in there, which you can see them come in, but also they're cool in the way they're executed as well. I will say that. Okay, so I didn't think that I wasn't too bothered by the voice direction of Zelda.
No.
But in this game, it definitely feels like a step up.
Yeah.
It feels like, I think her name is Patricia. Patricia's, I can't remember her second name, but it feels like she's definitely got into the role of Zelda after Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
And and the way they've done it with the memories is that they're doing it based on her memory, not on Link's memory like they did in Breath of the Wild. It feels more like you've got to piece it together, more than like it just follow the story and then you watch it in order and there you go.
You can watch it in the, like, you get an order that you can actually watch it in after you've watched it and you're like, but...
Yeah. I think Zelda got some great characterization in this game.
I haven't seen all the story
Link is still a psychopath playing Minecraft.
I feel bad for not finishing it. I do need to
Ganondorf is, I would say this is the most evil he's ever been in a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Like, there is no, like, redeeming feature with him at all. This definitely ain't Wind Waker Ganondorf, where, like, he's kind of, like, humbled in that game because he's been sealed for thousands of years, and he's like, why was I an asshole? Yeah. And he's like, oh, that's why the winds, Viral and Gerudo are different and all that stuff. Whereas in this game, it's like, I just want that power, dude.
True villain.
He's evil as they come, and he knows it. Yeah. And depending on like who is asking that, it can be a good or a bad thing. But Matthew Mercer really sells the character. He's good. As usual, Mr. Mercer is absolutely pushing Ganondorf to be like the most evil and cool as well that he's ever been. He's very imposing. He's very threatening. It's hard for me to talk about certain things about him without spoilers.
Yeah, I still need to finish it, man. I know.
Have you seen the? Have you seen the meme face though?
Yeah, I've seen the meme face.
Yeah, great. Yeah. It's like Ganondorf is misunderstood, and it's like I'm just gonna show that face to people.
Yeah.
And be like, no, he's an asshole, man. He's fucking evil in this game.
I'm glad you managed to finish it and solve the story through to the end. I still need to actually I should do that at some point. I'm gonna go back on it. I'm glad I've ticked it off. I'm glad I've got back to it because the Tears of the Kingdom has always been my like, I'll get back to it when I get back to it, quote unquote, kind of game. Yeah.
Where it's always in the back of my head, but other games have sort of just caught my interest more.
I'll get back to it when I still need to do as well, which is actually admittedly the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh yeah, you need to get back on that. If you're a fan of 1 and 2, then
I love 3. I just haven't finished the DLC yet. That big DLC. I still need to get on that.
Yeah. I'm glad I got it off my backlog. And I had a satisfying experience of it. I would say it's definitely a solid 8 out of 10 experience. Nice, for me. It was a good time. It was a good time. Looking forward to seeing what Nintendo do with Zelda next. Because obviously open world was their big thing with these Zeldas. But now I think it's time for something different.
Ground for their next Zelda. Like they go like maybe a bit more linear, but keep the open world stuff, but maybe like...
Are you ready for Sandbox Zelda?
I'll be cool with...
Where we make it smaller but bigger. That's kind of what Zelda has always been, really. To be honest.
But
it's pseudo open world, but it's not like mass open world like obviously Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't know, I'd kind of like that. I hope they can bring back some elements from like the traditional like Zelda, like getting the items and stuff. I miss getting the items. Like
there are rumors that Twilight Princess is going to get a remaster.
Yeah, it will probably
for like the 5th time.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. I haven't played that game.
It's funny. I can't, like, I've only played the Wii version of Twilight Princess.
Yeah, me too.
And of course, all the HD ports in the GameCube version are mirrored.
Yeah.
And it's so weird and alien to me.
Yeah, I've only played the Waggle version.
Mirror mode, it's just like, Link is now left-handed again. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, cause I've played like Twilight Princess a bunch on the Wii, so it's gonna be a weird transition for me to go from that.
I would actually like to revisit Twilight Princess. I haven't played it in years. Like, very long time.
Midnight is the best Zelda character ever created.
Yeah, she was good. She was really good.
I'm not even gonna like debate
Kid
that.
was good as well. I liked him.
I'm not playing Majora's Mask, so I can't compare.
Oh man, you've never played Majora's Mask?
Nope.
Oh shit,
mate!
dude,
I told you I'm not a Zelda buff.
That's a good Zelda, dude.
I ain't a Zelda buff, man.
Yeah, you should play Majora's Mask.
I didn't even complete Ocarina of Time.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah.
You should go back to that.
And I didn't complete. What was the one on the Game Boy Color?
There was a few. Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons.
No, it was a Link to something.
Link to the Past.
I think it was Link to the Past.
Oh yeah, what?
A Link to something.
Super Nintendo one, Link to the Past. Yeah, it got remade on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh right, okay, maybe it was Link to the Past.
Yeah, Link to the Past got remade on the Game Boy Advance.
Zelda 2 or something. Yeah, I didn't beat that game
ported,
either.
Sorry, I should say. No,
yeah, I've not played it. I'm definitely not very versed in old Zeldas.
I've played most of Zelda. The only Zeldas I haven't played are Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. That's admittedly the one that's off my list that I haven't played.
Twilight Princess was my first, which is probably why I like it the most. Definitely a little bit of first impression bias.
Honestly, a very traditional Zelda though. Like that is how Zelda used to be.
I mean, weren't they trying to actually make it the next Ocarina of Time?
Yeah, they were.
Which kind of worked to their detriment as well.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, they went too ham.
Yeah, a lot of fans say that it's just another Ocarina of Time game, and I'm like, no.
Nah, I don't think so. It's a bit different with the story and stuff.
It's another Zelda game.
And the whole transforming
all the Zelda games are
all
like that.
Was very unique. Yeah,
I mean, all the Zelda games before Breath of the Wild were all like, streamlined. Go to town, get weapon, help person, go into dungeon, get item that helps solve dungeon.
Yeah, but
be incredibly easy video gamey boss.
I really liked the whole get the item in the dungeon, then work out what to do with items sort of thing. But I really want them to take it a step further in terms of once you have the Wind Waker did a little bit of it, but once you have the item, you could maybe take a page out of Animal World where it can have multiple uses, sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually. Yeah, that's a good shout. Make the items a bit more broad, not just specifically designed for this one dungeon, which has always been has always been a big problem with Zelda games, where it's you get the item for the dungeon to beat the dungeon, and then you barely use it outside of the dungeon. Yeah,
you barely do, but I think I'll say some obviously there are some exceptions, like the bow and arrow and stuff. You always used it once you had. I
mean, bow and arrow doesn't even feel like a quote unquote gadget that you get, right?
No, but I just
it feels like a staple part of Link's moveset.
The what was it? The top spinner thing that you got in the
Beyblade in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, that could have been so cool to use outside of dungeons as well. There's no...
I mean, you can use it, but you have to remember parts of the game that you passed literally 5 dungeons ago to actually remember to use it.
There's not really any situation where it's needed after you've done the dungeons. You know what I mean? It's a one-use thing.
Actually, there's a bit in the final level in Hyrule Castle when you're gonna the final bit. You have to use it during one corridor. Actually.
Yeah, there is. But I mean, return of use the weapons more in unique ways could be quite a cool way to approach dungeon going forwards. Maybe
they've got multiple uses, not just one. That could work. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see on Nintendo Cook. And see what they come up with. I'm sure they'll think of something. It'll always sell like hotcakes because it's Zelda. So we'll see how it goes.
Happy 1 year anniversary to Twilight Princess. Sorry, to
Talk.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with TikTok, which I've done loads of times.
Okay, man. I think that's it for me on games and stuff.
Let's go on Q&A, man, because you've not got a lot of time left.
We'll be back with the Q&A. Yeah, I've got an hour.